Book 8. Zeus forbids the gods to interfere further. There is an even fight till midday, but then Zeus inclines the scales of victory in favor of the Trojans, who eventually chase the Achaeans within their wall. Hera and Athena set out to help the Trojans. Zeus sends Iris to turn them back, but later on he promises Hera that she shall leave her way in the end. Hector's triumph is stayed by nightfall. The Trojans lie lock on the plain. Now when morning, clad in her robe of saffron, had begun to suffuse light over the earth, Zeus called the gods in council on the topmost crest of serrated Olympus. Then he spoke, and all the gods gave ear. Hear me, said he, gods and goddesses, that I may speak even as I am minded. Let none of you, neither goddess nor god, try to cross me, but obey me every one of you, that I may bring this matter to an end. If I see anyone acting hard in helping of either Trojans or Danaans, he shall be beaten inordinately ere he come back again Olympus, or I will hurl him down into dark Tartarus, far into the deepest pit under the earth, where the gates are iron and the floor bronze, as far beneath Hades as heaven is high above the earth, that you may learn how much the mightiest I am among you. Try me and find out for yourselves. Hang me a golden chain from heaven and lay hold of it, all of you, gods and goddesses together. Tug as you will not drag Zeus, the supreme counselor, from heaven to earth. Where I to pull it as it myself, I should draw you up with earth and sea into the bargain. Then would I bind the chain about some pinnacle of Olympus, and leave you all dangling in the mid-firmament. So far am I above all others, either of gods or men. They were frightened, and all of them held their peace, for he spoken masterfully, as his last Athenian, answered, Father, son of Cronos, king of kings, we all know that your might is not to be gainsaid, but we are also sorry for the Danaan warriors who are perishing and coming to a bad end. We will, however, since you so bid us, refrain from actual fighting, but we will make serviceable suggestions to the Argives, that they may not all of them perish in your displeasure. Zeus smiled at her and answered, Take heart, my child, Tritoborn. I am not really in earnest, and I wish to be kind to you. With this he yoked his fleet horses, with hoofs of bronze and manes of glittering gold. He girded himself also with gold about the body, seized his gold whip, and took his seat in his chariot. Thereon he lashed his horses, and they flew forward, and nothing loath midway twixt earth and sorry heaven. After a while he reached many fountained Ida, mother of wild beasts, in Gargarus, whereas he drove in flagrant altar. There the founder of gods and men stayed his horses, took them from the chariots, and hid them in thick cloud. Then he took his seat, all glorious, upon the topmost crest, looking down upon the city of Troy, and the shields of the Achaeans. The Achaeans took their morning meal hastily at the ships, and afterwards put on their armor. The Trojans, on the other hand, likewise armed themselves throughout the city, fewer in numbers, but nevertheless eager perforce to do battle for their wives and children. All the gates were flung wide open, and horse and foot sailed forth with the tramp as of a great multitude. When they were got together in one place, shield clashed with shield, and spear with spear. In the conflict of mail-clad men, mighty was the din, as the bossed shields pressed hard on one another. Death cry and shout of triumph of slain slayers, and earth ran red of blood. Now so long as the day waxed, and it was till morning, their weapons beat against one another, and the people fell. But when the sun had reached mid-heaven, the sire of all balanced his golden scales, and put 2 feet of death within them, one for the Trojans, another for the Achaeans. He took the balance of the middle, and when he lifted it up, the day of the Achaeans sank, and the death frost scale of the Achaeans settled down upon the ground, while that of the Trojans rose heavenwards. Then he thundered aloud from Ida, and sent the glare of his lightning upon the Achaeans. When they saw this, hail fear fell upon them, and they were sore afraid. Idomeneus dared not stay, nor yet Agamemnon, nor did the 2 Ajaxes, servants of Ares, hold of their ground. Nestor, knight of green, alone stood firm, bulwark for the Achaeans, not of his own will, but one of his 3 horses was disabled. Paris, husband of lowly Helen, had hit it with an arrow just on the top of its head, where the mane begins to grow away from a small, very deadly place. The horse found it in his anguish as the arrow pierced his brain, and his struggles threw others into confusion. The old man instantly began cutting the traces with his sword, but Hector's fleet horses bore down upon him through the rounds with their bold charioteer. Even Hector himself and the old man would have perished there, and then had not Diomed been quick to mark with a loud cry for Odysseus to help him. Odysseus, he cried, the noble son of Laertes, where are you flying to? Your back turned like a coward. See that you are not struck with a spear between the shoulders. Stay here and help me to defend Nestor from this man's furious onset. Odysseus would not give ear, but sped onward to the ships of the Achaeans. The son of Tydeus, flinging himself onto the thick of the fight, took his stand before the horses of the son of Neleus. Sir, and said he, these young warriors are pressing you hard, your forces spent, and age is heavy upon you. Your squire is not, and your horses are slow to move. Mount my chariot and see what the horses of Troy can do. How clearly and cleverly they can scud hither and thither upon the plain, either in flight or in pursuit. I took them from the hero Aeneas. Let our squires attend to your own steeds, but let us drive mine straight at the Trojans, that Hector may learn how fiercely I too can wield my spear. Nestor, knight of green, hearkened to his words. Thereon the doughty squires, Stephanopus and kind-hearted Eurymedon, saw to Nestor's horses, while the 2 had mounted Diomed's chariots. Nestor took the reins in his hand and lashed the horses on, and they soon close up with Hector. The son of Tydeus aimed a spear at him with the charge and full speed towards them. He missed, but struck his charioteer and squire Theopius, son of the noble Phoebus, and the rest by the middle, while the reins were in his hand, so that he died there and then. And the horses swerved as he fell headlong from the chariots. Hector was greatly grieved at the loss of his charioteer, but let him lie for all his sorrow, while he went in quest of another driver. Nor did his steeds have to go long without one, for he presently found brave Archidippolymus, the son of Iphitus, and made him get up behind the horses, giving the reins into his hand. All had then been lost and no help for it, for they would have been penned up in Ilium like sheep, had not the sire of gods and men been quick to mark and hurl a fiery fiery flaming thunderbolt, which fell just in front of Diomed's horses. With a flare of burning brimstone, the horses were frightened and tried to back beneath the car, while the reins dropped from Nestor's hands. Then he was afraid and said to Diomed, son of Tydeus, turn your horses and fly. See you not the hand of Zeus that is against you? Today you have saved victory to Hector. Tomorrow, if it so please him, he will again grant it to ourselves. No man, however brave, may thwart the purpose of Zeus, for he is far stronger than any. Diomed answered, all that he has said is true. There is a grief, however, which pierces me to the very heart. For Hector will talk among the Trojans and say, the son of Tydeus fled before me to the ships. This is the vaunt he will make, and may earth and then swallow me. Son of Tydeus, replied Nestor, but mean you? Though Hector say that you are a coward, the Trojans and the Dardanians will not believe him, nor yet the lives of the mighty warriors whom you have laid low. So saying, he turned the horses back through the thick of the battle, and with a cry that rent the air, the Trojans and Hector rained their darts after them. Hector shouted to him and said, son of Tydeus, guns have done you honor hitherto as regards your place at table, the meals they give you, and filling of your cup of wine. Henceforth they will despise you, for if you are become no better than a woman, be off, girl, and coward that you are. You shall not scale our walls through any flinching upon my part, neither shall you carry off your wives and your ships, for I shall kill you with my own hand. The son of Tydeus was in two minds whether or no to turn his horses round again and fight him. Thrice did he doubt, and thrice did Zeus thunder from the heights of Ida, in token to the Trojans that he would turn to the battle in their favor. Hector shouted to them and said, Trojans, Lycians, and Dardanians, lovers of close fighting,